Boom! I'm trying to get myself hyped up. Booyah!
Got off the phone with my regular road dogs. At home they be killing some business like it was roll call. I put my cards on the table, see what they telling me. The odds are failing me, put it on paper like a memory, plenary.
I think it's gotta be Calypso, hey? The funny thing about Calypso is that it's playful, né? But it's actually quite serious. Because I wrote Calypso at a time where I was in some type of isolation. Before COVID, I actually started writing that particular song. And, I was also confronted with sickness, and Calypso is possibly the most vulnerable you hear on the trilogy. I think so. Because I touch on family, I touch on just society, There's this one particular location or one particular house in the hood where I say, in the hood, there's a house where the opium cooks. The cops know it. The landlord is where the money gets booked, Like we have a scourge of Nyaupe, like in the hood, And the cops know where the place is, They actually know where the place is, but that place never gets shut down, So I touch on a lot of themes, but then the hook, I think, is quite personal and introspective, where I say, figure out what it is that you want. Is it life for reward or being up at the front? Do you want to be paid? Make some ways to get paid so that people remember. Do you want to be great? So I think there's a lot of where I was asking myself those questions, like what is it that I actually want? How is this music contributing to what is it that I want?
Always looking for that finer art. So I'm looping on this cannonball, Adderley and autumn leaves falling like some aerosols. How to get a mill in my mind, how to make the stress less inside.
It has significantly contributed to the music because, I think family creates an atmosphere where art can be appreciated, shared. It's about creating an environment that's kind of safe to explore these sort of creative bursts, So family is essential. We are a sum total of our experiences, but I think we are also a sum total of the people who we relate with. So they have a large bearing, the support that I get has a large bearing on what I'm able to do. If it wasn't for that sort of support that encourages it, that incubates it, family is like a huge incubator for our gifts, our talents. They're the people who elect themselves to be present in your life. And music can be, or artistry can be lonely sometimes, right? Because you kind of go in your own rabbit hole and you go, so you always need family to kind of, bring you back to reality.
Package deal, it came with human cargo. African idols on a vessel, port embargo. Highest peak, my throne Kilimanjaro. King cold, colder than the climate in the North Pole. I had to understand the meaning of sorrow.
I think what I'd like people to take away with songs like Heroes Acre and Black Orchid. Let's start with Heroes Acre, right? Heroes Acre is written from a place of pain, Heroes Acre, again, there's a location where heroes are buried, political stalwarts and people who make significant contributions in our society, they get buried there. And at some point I then started, is a gravestone where our heroes are in the grave. All that we remember about them is their names written on the gravestone. So I wanted to take what I wanted for people to take away with Heroes Acre is just be cognizant of this tempestuous history that we have. We have South Africa is a very, very it's a tough country, right? One of the most unequal countries in the world. With a horrible history, So I think Heroes Acre was just me reflecting on our position as a people, the societies that we live in, the heroes who the only thing we remember about them is their name on the grave, Did they die in vain? Those who gave their lives for the struggle, let's say political emancipation, did they die in vain? What are we doing as a society, in remembering, their sacrifices, could we be doing better? Could I be doing better as a citizen of the country? Could I be doing better, to honor the memory of those who gave their lives for freedom? So it's just casting a shadow on this difficult history that we have and where we are today in reference to that history.
How do you like your pain? To be a product for a profit, a syndication of messages, streamline the gossip. Attention is in deficit, hyena on a carcass. Policies penetrate crevices, a sailor stardust.
I think because music is a form of protest. If I think about people like Miriam Makeba, who, you know, the only way that they could deal with the oppression in the country was found creative outlet in their music. So it became a way of activism and a way of protest. So I think it's important to keep doing that because music is such a great tool of communication. I think if music is only used for entertainment, I think, which is perfectly okay. There's some instances where you don't want to think, you just want to dance and party, you know, I understand that. But my coming into music was really just influenced by, what can I say, you know? How can I tell something in a palatable way where someone can enjoy the story, enjoy the music, and just be conscious as they listen to the stuff. So I think art in itself, if you look at the drawings, you know, protest forms of art, you know, I think art is powerful, and music is a form of art, it's a form of expression. We must remember from time to time to infuse, you know, this sort of art with relevant messaging.
Makes the narrow vision for a fool. Who's the hero and the villain makes the difference. What is cruel in the definition tool? I wonder what's the next thing. Can't wait to make the cat sing. All day looking for the next binge. Hey.
Heroes and villains have some things in common, you know. They're both committed to their cause, you know. The one guy wants to see the world burn. The one guy wants to give his life for other people and for the society, you know. But they both hold strong to their convictions. The line says, who's a hero and a villain makes a difference what is cruel in the definition tool, right? What I'm saying there is, have you ever seen in our society where, like, heroes are normally considered saints, you know? When a hero makes, let's say you've got two people, one is known for being a hero, one is known for being a villain. They're guilty of the same offense. Let's say they do something that's wrong, right? Both of them do the same act, right? Which is punishable by law, or something that can be prosecuted. What I see happening in our society is, because the hero is looked upon as a saint, our society is quite forgiving to heroes. They'll say, oh no, it was out of character, you know, such and such did this thing, but that's not him, you know, please, like, they almost get treated with kid gloves. But somebody who's known to be a villain and they commit the same offense, they will be treated with utmost brutality because, oh yeah, we expected that, you know, you did it, you know. So it's like, it's the same offense, but because the one guy is, you know, portrayed as a hero or a saint, he gets forgiven by society, you know. The villain guilty of the same crime, you know, the jury would look at the villain as though he's more guilty for committing the same offense.
It's dream for sales, bridge over waters, a pipe dream. You get mail for lower orders or divine schemes follow. Check the papers, coders, frozen waters, ice creams. Expose your altars, I'm running out prisms like a light beam.
Yeah, Dream Merchant, you know, I wrote that track, which I think it's actually one of the very last tracks that I wrote for this series. And, you know, there I talk about the industry, the music industry, you know, where people are sold dreams, you know, where people are given the promise that, you know, they're going to be superstars and celebrities, and you get promoters and managers who will, you know, portray this glamorous sort of, you know, side of the music industry. But the truth of the matter is, it's not all glamour, right? And Dream Merchant was just me saying, you know what? Yeah, you might be great at this thing. You might be an exceptional musician or artist or rapper, but it's not what it seems. Don't allow anybody to sell you dreams about superstardom. There's this side of celebrity, right, in music, right, where you get a guy who's a superstar, he's well known, he's popular, and there's this impression that creates that, oh, actually, if he can do it, maybe with not so much talent, then I can do it too, you know. I'm just cautioning not to fall for the trap, to think that, oh yeah, this is an easy path, I can just follow it and also be the next biggest superstar. You know, don't let anyone sell you that dream. So I was just speaking about the reality of the industry and the risks, the threats, the difficulty even, you know. The industry can be quite difficult, especially when you've got something worthwhile to say or something that's unpopular, you know. It can be quite difficult, and you might just find yourself in a position where you want to quit, you know, if you don't have the right sort of motivation. So for me, it was just kind of a word of caution to say, know what you sign up for. It's not just lights, camera, action, and superstardom and walking on the catwalk. You know, there's a lot of grind in the industry. We're not, hey, we are not. In the days where someone can become an overnight celebrity, you know, it's easy to think and imagine, oh, all I just need to do is come up with a gimmick and then I'm gonna be the next great, you know. It's a gamble, it's like a roll of the dice, you know, and you cannot use that as your theory. You cannot just go there and think, oh yeah, all I need is just like a gimmick for me to blow up, and if he can do it, I can do it too.
And I gotta tell them that my level's on platinum. They ain't gotta know I'm flossing with the luck of the draw. Yeah, I got a couple things, but what I want is more. I was a kid and the living was hard, so I'm trying to buy my happiness and park it in the backyard, yeah.
I think it's just a start, hey. I think it's just the beginning, hey. I just needed to challenge myself to create a trilogy. I really wanted to challenge myself to release music frequently. You know, that's kind of why it became a trilogy, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna write a contract with myself, you know. This is the year I want to commit to something, and I want to commit to releasing frequently. You know, can I do it for myself? Can I live up to my own ambition? You know, so I think I'm happy to be at this release of the trilogy. I can almost say I've upheld my side of the contract, but it's definitely not the end. I don't think it's enough. I think there's still more music to be made. So yeah, so I've got 3 projects out. The first one is Envy and Avarice, right? That's the first project, Envy and Avarice, that came out several months ago. The second one is Pride and Wrath. It's another series of 7 tracks. So it's all themed around the 7 deadly sins. So 7 tracks multiplied by 3. So second one is Pride and Wrath, and the third one is this one that we've just dropped, Gluttony, Sloth and Lust. Also 7 tracks. So the series is formulated around releasing 7 tracks every couple months, you know, to formulate around the theory and the trilogy of releases, formulating towards 7 tracks, which is 7 deadly sins.
I'm up early at the crack of dawn, a snare drum like a gunshot on a chapel door.
The trilogy is now currently available on all streaming platforms. Yeah, I'm available on social media platforms, so Instagram, landmark_, Twitter, landmark, Facebook, landmark, and then the website is landmark.joburg, where also links to the press kit, links to my contacts, booking information, and just my bio, and also some videos or links to the latest videos and latest releases. Yeah, I've also been doing some merchandise, right? So with the first release of the trilogy, I think it was the second one, I started creating some merch. It was a trial run, and you know, very well supported. I have to thank everyone who was willing to trust me enough. I had never really created merchandise before, but they trusted me. But I want to say is that there's some new merch on the way, some more creative designs, not limited to Landmark. In fact, this is one of them, Afro Future, better quality prints, better quality garments, and just some nice flavor.
Hey yo, slow go showing the road. Another night in the city, street road, parole, ghetto, black hole. Triangulating with wolves. Every corner is a post, and if you woke, it's just for sure the day that hell froze.
I want people to find themselves in there. Like, I think as much as I know music is an internal thing, I think for me what's most rewarding is when people pick up some stuff and clues that they relate to in the music. You know, I think it's really just an exchange and a sharing of ideas. So what I'd like people to take away from it is find themselves, locate themselves in the music, and hopefully that they would be inspired to do something better with their lives. And it doesn't have to be music. This is not a challenge to musicians or whatever. It's like just a challenge to us as a people and as humans, to always look for opportunities to excel and be better.
They told you never hold your head up. You obey the past just in case you crash. Your ancestors never cradled cash. The aim is get the bag, get the bread up. I need something to be proud of. The bread low like a setup. Believing that you're worthless, alive with no purpose. Going hard in the paint, but it's charades like a circus. Are you looking for external validation when you made of gold? The finest minerals, budding flowers, African marigold. I heard them say nobody belongs here. Beyond fear, how they describe taking of the lion's share.